There are so many different ways to learn how to talk to a waiter in English, using polite and natural phrases. And today, we really want to dive into the best ones for you.
We are going to cover everything from initially sitting down at your table to finally asking for the bill without feeling like you are being too demanding or awkward.
Most people get really nervous when the server first approaches the table because they feel like they need to be perfectly formal, which actually is not the case at all.
Exactly, because usually a casual restaurant just wants to make sure you have what you need so you can enjoy your meal with your friends or family.
Let's start with that first moment when you walk through the door and you need to tell them how many people are in your group today.
A simple table for two works perfectly, or you can just hold up two fingers and say it is just the two of us today, if you want to be more natural.
I usually find that saying we are looking for a spot for 4 people is a great way to start that interaction with a smile on your face.
Once you are seated, the next big hurdle is often the drink order, which usually happens within the first couple of minutes of sitting down.
The waiter might ask if you want to start with some water, or if you need a few minutes to look over the cocktail and wine lists.
You can respond by saying that you would love some tap water for the table, while you take a second to look at the menu.
Practice this with me right now. I will just have a water for now, please.
That sounds great. And it is also very common to ask if they have any special drinks that are not listed on the main menu.
Sometimes, the server will mention a seasonal lemonade or a specific type of tea that they are featuring for the afternoon or the evening.
If you are not ready yet, just say, "We are still deciding on drinks, but we will be ready in just a couple of minutes."
It is much better to take your time than to feel rushed and order something that you do not actually want to drink throughout your meal.
Now let's imagine the waiter comes back and it is finally time to think about those appetizers or starters to share with everyone.
You might want to ask the waiter what they personally recommend or what the most popular dish on the menu happens to be tonight.
Try saying something like, "What is your favorite thing on the menu?"
That is a fantastic icebreaker because it treats the server like a person rather than just someone who is there to deliver your food to you.
When you are looking at the main courses, you might see some ingredients that you do not recognize, or you might have a specific allergy that you need to be very careful about. It is totally fine to ask the waiter if a certain dish contains nuts or dairy or whatever it is that you are avoiding for your health or just for your personal preference. You could say something like, "I have a bit of a gluten sensitivity, so could you let me know if the sauce on this chicken dish is safe for me to eat?" Most servers are very well trained on the menu and will be more than happy to check with the kitchen to make sure everything is perfect for you. It really helps to be clear and direct while staying very friendly throughout the whole conversation.
Sometimes you might want to switch out a side dish, like getting a salad instead of the fries that usually come with the burger you are planning to order. You can simply ask, "Is it possible to swap the fries for a small house salad instead today?" Most of the time they will say yes, though they might mention that there is a small extra charge for making that specific change to the standard order. If you are okay with that, you can just nod and say, "That sounds perfect, and thank you for checking on that for me." It is also a good idea to ask how the meat is cooked if you are ordering a steak or something similar where the temperature makes a big difference.
While you are waiting for your food, the waiter might come by to refill your water. or to see if you need another round of drinks for the table. You can just give a quick thumbs up or a small smile if your mouth is full of bread. Or you can say, "We are all set for now. Thank you so much." If you actually do need something like extra napkins or some more ketchup for your fries, this is the perfect time to bring it up naturally. Just wait for a small break in their movement and say, "Sorry, could we actually get some extra napkins when you have a free second?" They are usually multitasking and appreciate it when you ask for everything you need at once rather than making them walk back and forth.
When the food actually arrives at the table, the server will usually confirm who ordered what so they can place the plates down in front of the right person. You can help them out by raising your hand slightly and saying that the salmon is mine or the pasta belongs right here. It makes the process go a lot faster and shows that you are paying attention to the hard work they are doing to get the meal out to you. After they set everything down, they will almost always ask if there is anything else they can get for you right this moment. This is your last chance to grab that extra side of ranch or the salt and pepper shakers before they head off to help another table.
About halfway through your meal, it is very common for the waiter to do a quick check-in to make sure that everything is tasting okay and that the steak was cooked exactly how you liked it. You do not need to give a long speech during this part of the interaction because they are usually just looking for a quick confirmation. A simple, "Everything is delicious, thank you," is more than enough to let them know they are doing a great job. If there actually is a problem, like your food being cold or not what you ordered, this is the polite time to mention it. You can say, "Excuse me, I think this might be a little undercooked. Would it be possible to put it back under the grill for a minute?"
Maintaining a positive attitude when something goes wrong is the key to getting great service and having a much better overall dining experience at any restaurant. If you are rude or angry, the server will likely feel stressed and might even be less motivated to help you quickly or efficiently. By saying things like, "I am so sorry to bother you, but I think I actually ordered the house salad instead of the Caesar," you make it easy for them to fix the mistake. They are human beings too, and mistakes happen in busy kitchens all the time, especially during the lunch or dinner rushes. They will usually apologize and bring out the correct item as fast as they can, while potentially offering a small discount or a free drink for the trouble.
Once you have finished your main course, the waiter will come by to clear away the empty plates and ask the big question about whether you have saved any room for dessert. Even if you are completely full, it is fun to look at the dessert menu just to see what they have. So you can ask to see it for a moment. You might say, "We are pretty full, but we would love to take a quick peek at the dessert options if you have a menu handy." If you decide to skip it, just say, "No dessert for us today, but we would love to sit for a bit longer," or just move straight to the bill. This lets them know whether they should bring the check right away or if they can leave you alone to chat for a while.
If you do decide to go for something sweet, you might want to split a dessert with several people at the table so everyone can have just a small taste of something delicious. You can ask, "Could we get the chocolate cake but with 4 forks so we can all share it together?" Most restaurants are completely fine with this and will bring out the extra utensils without any hesitation at all. It is a great way to end the meal on a high note without feeling like you overdid it on the sugar or the calories. You could also take this time to order a coffee or a tea to go along with your dessert if you need a little caffeine boost before heading home.
Asking for the bill or the check is the final part of the process, and it can sometimes feel a bit awkward if you do not know the right words to use. You can catch the waiter's eye and make a small writing gesture in the air. Or you can simply say, "Could we get the check whenever you get a chance, please?" There is no need to rush them if the restaurant is busy. So adding that whenever you have a second really takes the pressure off the server. If you need to split the bill between multiple people, it is best to mention that as early as possible so they can organize the tickets correctly. You can say, "Would it be possible to do separate checks for the three of us today?"
When the check finally arrives, you should take a second to look it over just to make sure that everything you ordered is listed correctly and that there are no accidental double charges. If you see something that looks wrong, just point it out calmly and ask for a clarification from your server before you hand over your credit card. You could say, "I notice there are 2 orders of appetizers here, but I think we only had 1. Could you double-check that for me?" They will usually be very quick to fix any errors and will bring you back a corrected version of the bill right away. Once everything is settled, you can leave your payment in the folder or on the table and let them know they can take it when they are ready.
Tipping is a very important part of the dining culture in many places, and knowing how much to leave can help you feel more confident as you finish up your meal. Usually, a tip between 15 and 20% is considered standard for good service, but you can always leave more if the waiter went above and beyond for you. You do not need to say anything about the tip when you leave, as the math on the receipt will speak for itself once you have signed it. Just make sure to say a warm thank you to your server as you are getting up to leave the table and head toward the exit. It leaves a great impression and makes them feel appreciated for the hard work they did throughout your entire visit.
Outside of the restaurant setting, you might find yourself in more casual situations like a coffee shop or a fast casual deli, where you order at a counter instead. The language is very similar, but it tends to be even more relaxed and focused on getting the order right in a shorter amount of time. You can start by saying, "I would like to get a medium latte with oat milk, please, and maybe one of those blueberry muffins in the display case." They might ask for your name to call out when the order is ready, so be prepared to give it or even spell it if it's a bit unique. It's a great way to practice your daily English skills in a low-pressure environment where you can see the results immediately.
Sometimes you might visit a place where you sit at a bar instead of a traditional table, which changes the dynamic a little bit, because the server is right in front of you. You can have a bit more small talk in this situation, asking how their day is going, or if the place has been busy lately. You might say, "How has your shift been so far? Is it starting to pick up for the happy hour crowd?" This level of casual conversation is very common and helps build a friendly rapport with the person who is taking care of you. You still use all the same polite phrases for ordering, but the vibe is much more like talking to a neighbor or a friend.
If you are eating with a large group of people, like 10 or more, the restaurant might have special rules about having a limited menu or adding a service charge automatically. It is a good idea to call ahead of time and ask, "We have a big group coming in. Do we need to make a reservation, or are there any special considerations we should know about?" This shows that you are a thoughtful customer and helps the restaurant prepare their staff and their kitchen for a busy night. When you arrive, make sure to let the host know that your full party is here so they can seat you all at once. Big groups can be chaotic, so your polite and natural phrases will really help keep the mood light and fun for everyone involved.
Don't worry if you make a small mistake with your English while you are ordering, because the most important thing is that the waiter understands what you want to eat. Most people who work in the service industry are used to hearing many different accents and ways of speaking, and they are generally very patient and helpful. If you forget a word, you can always point to the item on the menu, and the waiter will know exactly what you are talking about. You can say, I'm sorry, I forgot the name of this dish, but I would love to try this one right here. It is all about the communication and making sure you get the meal that you are looking forward to having.
We should also talk about what to do if you are in a very formal restaurant where the rules might be a little bit different than a casual diner or a cafe. In these places, you might find that the staff is much more formal, but your polite and natural phrases will still serve you quite well. You might say, "Excuse me, sir, could you tell us more about the preparation of the duck tonight?" Even in a fancy setting, being genuinely kind and curious is the best way to interact with the people who are there to serve you. You might find that the more you use these phrases, the more comfortable you feel in any type of dining environment across the world.
Practice makes perfect. So why don't we try a few more call and response moments to get these phrases locked into your memory for your next night out? I will say a common question that a waiter might ask you, and then I want you to respond with a polite and natural answer that we have discussed. Imagine I am your server and I ask, "Are you all ready to order? Or do you need a few more minutes to decide on your mains?" Now you take a second and think about how you would tell me that you are ready to go with the burger and the salad. Great job. Saying we are all set and we would love the burger and the house salad is exactly the right way to handle that.
Let's try one more, where you are the one asking for something specific from me while I am walking past your table in the middle of a very busy dinner service. You need a refill on your soda, so think about how you would attract my attention without being rude or snapping your fingers. You could wait for me to look your way and then give a small wave, or say, "Excuse me, when you have a chance, could I get another soda, please?" That is perfect, because it acknowledges that I am busy while still making your needs known, so I can add it to my mental list of things to do. The best customers are always the ones who are patient and use these types of respectful phrases during their meal.
When you are finished with your meal and you are walking out of the restaurant, it is always a nice touch to say goodbye to the host or the manager if they are near the door. You can say, "Everything was fantastic tonight. Thanks for having us." Or just, "Have a great evening and we will see you again soon." It makes the staff feel good about the work they did, and it builds a nice connection if you plan on becoming a regular customer at that specific place. People love to see familiar and friendly faces, and being the person who uses polite and natural phrases will definitely get you noticed in a good way. It is these small interactions that really help you master the language in a way that feels organic and real.
I also think it is useful to know some common slang or casual terms that waiters might use with you, like calling you guys or asking if you are still working on that plate. When someone asks if you are still working on it, they just mean, "Are you still eating? Or can I take this dish away from the table now so you have more room?" You can say, "I am still working on this, thank you." Or you can say, "I am all finished and you are welcome to take this plate away." It is a bit funny to think about eating as work, but it is a very common way that Americans and other English speakers talk about finishing a meal. Getting used to these little quirks of the language is part of the fun of learning how to navigate real-world situations.
Another tip is to always keep an eye on the menu for any notes about substitutions or extra charges that might be written in small print at the bottom of the page. This can save you from being surprised when the bill comes, and it gives you a chance to ask questions before you make any final decisions about what you want to eat. You can ask, "I see there is a charge for extra sauce. Is that for every refill or just for the first one we order?" Most servers will be very honest with you, because they want you to be happy with your experience and not feel like you were tricked into paying more than you expected. Being an informed and polite customer is really the best way to go about any interaction in a restaurant.
We have covered so much ground today, from the initial greeting at the host stand to the final goodbye as you walk out the door after a successful and delicious meal. I hope you feel a lot more confident in your ability to use these polite and natural phrases next time you find yourself sitting down at a table in an English-speaking country. Remember that the goal is not to be a perfect grammar expert, but to be a kind and effective communicator who can get their point across while making others feel comfortable. If you can do that, you will find that doors open up for you, and people are much more willing to help you out if you ever run into any trouble. It really is all about the human connection.
If you want to keep practicing, you can even do this at home with your friends or family by acting out different scenarios where one person is the waiter and the others are the guests. It might feel a little bit silly at first, but it is a great way to get the words out of your mouth in a safe and supportive environment before you do it for real. You can even try to make it more difficult by pretending that the restaurant is out of the dish you wanted, forcing you to think on your feet and choose something else quickly. These kinds of role-playing exercises are incredibly effective for building your fluency and your confidence at the same time. You will be surprised at how much easier it feels.
Think about a time when you were in a restaurant and you felt a little bit lost because you didn't know the right thing to say to the person who was helping you. Now that you have these phrases in your toolkit, imagine how that same situation would go differently if you were to walk into that same restaurant today with your new skills. You would probably feel much calmer, more in control, and able to actually enjoy the food and the company instead of worrying about the language the whole time. That is the power of learning how to talk to a waiter in English with polite and natural phrases. And it is a skill that will stay with you for a lifetime. Everywhere you go, you will have this knowledge in your back pocket.
Waiters also appreciate it when you use their name if they have introduced themselves to you at the beginning of the meal, though it is not strictly necessary in every situation. If they say, "Hi, my name is Alex, and I will be taking care of you today," you can respond by saying, "Hi, Alex. It is nice to meet you. I am Corey, and this is Paige." This creates an even more personalized experience and makes the whole interaction feel a lot more meaningful and friendly for everyone. However, if you forget their name, do not worry about it at all, because you can always just say, "Excuse me," or "Sir," or "Ma'am," or just nothing at all. The most important thing is the tone of your voice and the respect you show through your choice of words.
One thing to keep in mind is that the volume of the restaurant can sometimes make it hard for the waiter to hear you. So try to speak clearly and directly toward them when you are ordering. If it is a very loud place with music and lots of people talking, you might even want to lean in a little bit so they can hear your polite and natural phrases without any trouble. It is also helpful to leave the menu open if you are still looking, and close it when you have finally made up your mind, so they can see that you are ready. This is a nonverbal cue that waiters look for all the time, and it helps them manage their time better and get to you as soon as possible.
It has been such a joy to share these tips and phrases with you today, and I truly hope they make your next dining experience something really special and stress-free. Remember that you have the power to create a positive atmosphere wherever you go, just by choosing the right words and having a friendly and open attitude toward everyone you meet. You are becoming a master of polite and natural phrases, and it is going to open up so many amazing possibilities for you as you continue on your English learning journey. Take a deep breath, believe in yourself, and get out there and order something delicious with all the confidence in the world. You have got this, and we are both so incredibly happy for the progress you are making every single day.
Thanks for joining us today. We hope these phrases help you feel confident next time you eat out. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more casual English practice.